How's it going, everyone? Welcome to this video, and in this video I'm going to do another unboxing. This is a product sent to me from Games Workshop, and this time they sent me Shadowspear, and I'm very impressed with this set. They just came in the mail. This has been announced in the past. It came a little late for me, so I'm doing this unboxing a little bit late. But I'm very excited with this product, especially because it's Black Legion. If any one of you is familiar with this channel, I started this channel with Black Legion, and I've painted, I think, 2 versions of how to paint Black Legion. As I've been learning how to paint a little bit better, I've been trying to do it a little bit better, and I'm probably going to do more videos about painting this set in Black Legion. And I'm really looking forward to that, especially because they just released a new Abaddon model, which has been long overdue, and I'm very excited about that too. I'm really waiting for my chance to pre-order it and get it, and I would probably want to do a painting tutorial on him too in this channel, so stay tuned. And if you would like to see it, just let me know. And any other thing that you would like to see me paint, please leave them in the comment section below. That would really help me out, because then I know what you want to see, and then I can just start doing new content. I haven't had much time to do content lately, but right now I'm going to do this quick unboxing and show you what's inside, probably show you a little bit of the rules, and just see what this set is all about, and if it's worth it to get it right now. And yeah, let's just start right away. So this is the box, and this is Shadowspear, Fate and Fury Clash in the 31st Millennium. This is a new set for Games Workshop after the Dark Imperium set. This seems like a much lighter box. When I received it on the mail, I felt it was quite light, and that's because it doesn't have any scenery, apparently. It has 2 bands of miniatures. We have the Chaos band and a Space Marine band, and here we have, it has a Captain in Phobos armor. It has a Librarian, this one, in Phobos armor. It has a Lieutenant in Phobos armor. I think this is the one here. It has Suppressors, Eliminators, and 10 Infiltrators, which I think the overall goal of the Space Marines is kind of a scout kind of army that can deploy further in the enemy's deployment zones, and it can not in their deployment zone but closer to their deployment zone, and they can also snipe at different character units and stuff like that. On the Chaos side, we have the Master of Possession, and we have the Venom Crawler. We have 2 Obliterators that have had their models remodeled, and they still look like the part. They look they have the mutated skin, but they look like mini Hellbrutes, and they look pretty cool. They have tons of weapons, and I'm hopeful to get at least 2 more. And they also have the Greater Possessed models, which is 2 of them, and we have the 10 Chaos Space Marines, which look amazing. They look a little bit mixture in between Dark Vengeance and the regular set. They don't quite have that much detail, but that's good, because if they have so much detail, it becomes a little bit of a chore to get them painted, because they have tons and tons of detail, and it's a little bit difficult to pick all of it. Yeah, these guys look pretty cool in my opinion. The thing with this army is to empower every creature or a unit that has the demon keyword with them, because I think these guys give boost to the possessed. Also the Venom Crawler has something to do with it, and the Master of Possession also has some psychic powers and abilities to boost any demon keyword unit on the Chaos Space Marine Codex. So this box also has the codexes for both the Demonkin, which is the Chaos side, and it has some special rules for Vanguard Space Marines, which are all of these. And we have the fluff also in this box. So let's get it open. So here we go. So this is it. We have a ton of gray plastic, and I think that these sprues are a little bit more intricate than what we've seen in the previous sets. They're not like just snap fit models. They have more than a couple pieces, and although they have very big pieces like these, they're not completely just one, not just two pieces. You can see that you have options for arms and weaponry maybe, but probably they go together in maybe one pose. Not maybe they're not very poseable since the torsos and legs are already positioned for you. You just have to put them together. But it's good that they're made with a ton more pieces. That way you have a lot more detail. So we have two identical sprues here for the Space Marine suppressors and aggressors. We have one big sprue of chaos, I think. We have another big sprue of Space Marines. And this one, we have some character sprues. This one's the Master of Possession. This one is the Librarian, I would presume. Yep, it's the Librarian. This one is probably one of the Space Marine characters. Tons of vases, and we have the Venom Crawler and Obliterators maybe, and this big sprue. And that's it. It's mostly sprues on the box, but we also have this piece of artwork in here. It's a little bit bent and damaged though, but it has this cool poster that you could mount or frame and put on your wall. That it looks pretty cool. This is the artwork for the box, and it looks cool. And that's it. And also we have a couple bases back here. Probably these are for Obliterators. And we have a big one for the Venom Crawler. We also have decals. We have a sample chapter for Black Legion from the Black Library, if you want to read that. This is cool. This is a Rubric Marine painted in black. Apparently it looks cool. I like it. And these are the jump things for the suppressors. I mean, aggressors. I don't know their names. I don't collect Space Marine, sorry. But we're going to just open the packet and see what's inside here. Inside this packet, we have the Shadowspear book, which is going to be probably just fluff. We have a small codex for Codex Adeptus Astartes Vanguard Space Marines. These are rules for these scout kind of tactical marines. And we have the small booklet or small pamphlet with the rules for Warhammer 40k. And with this and the two codexes, you can start playing immediately. Just give it a quick read, and you can start playing with a friend. If a friend of yours knows how to play already, or you know how to play already, it won't be a problem. And we have the Shadowspear set guide to assembling. And you can see here the two warbands. We have plenty of models, but there's no terrain, and it's only models. You should have your own terrain, or get some terrain if you want. If you're just starting to play in the game. We have instruction of how many pieces we have and what size our bases are, and it describes each sprue, and then it starts giving you the number and how it goes together so you can assemble them. On models with capes, I would recommend not assembling the part with the cape yet until you have the rest painted, because that gets in the way. Although I am known by painting completely assembled models most of the time, sometimes you do want to get those parts that are obstructing places that you can see with very large objects like capes, or very large objects like heavy bolters or stuff like that. You might want to have those unassembled until you finish painting. But yeah, here we have the instructions to paint all of the Space Marine models. And we have the Master of Possession here, Chaos Space Marines. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we have the Obliterators here. We have the Venom Crawler, which is not that big, because we saw that piece right now on this sprue, and you can see the legs aren't that big, and the base is a little bit big, but it's not huge. And this is pretty good. They have instructions on how to paint. We have the triads of different colors for different parts of the model. But it's good that they're including the instruction for painting. This is pretty good. And especially places that we haven't painted before, like the skin on the obliterator, and I don't know, like a power sword here. And yeah, how to do the camo pattern, I don't know yet, but I'll be exploring that. And yeah, that's it. So before we go into looking at the sprues a little bit more closely, I'm going to just give a flip through the rules of these books, and I think I need to start with the Shadowspear and see what's inside this book. It'll probably be only fluff, and it has an introduction of this encounter with Space Marines and the Demonkin. It talks about War Zone Vigilance, which I don't know much about because I don't know a lot about fluff. But I've been hearing that some character named Abaddon, it sounds familiar, it's coming to Vigilance finally, and it has a new model released that we've seen previews already, and I'm very excited to get and paint for this channel. It talks about Into the Void. I don't know what this is. It's pretty much fluff that I have to read, and it has game rules and missions actually in this book. Here it has rules for the campaign games, in which depending on who wins, you get to play other missions, I think. And this is pretty exciting. If you don't want to buy any more Warhammer 40k, this is your first Warhammer 40k set, and you're not looking for it to expand soon, I think you're going to have a lot of fun playing all these missions. And I would. And we have the different rules of these missions described here. Behind enemy lines, target of opportunity. It has all-round defense, Vanguard Assault, Dark Ritual, Burn and Despoil, and that's it. It has War Without End. I think this is probably just advice on how to continue playing this game if you so desire. But yeah, this is campaign rules and missions to play this game, which is pretty cool. Then we have the Codex Demonkin, the one that I'm most excited about. Here we're probably going to have the fluff behind the Demonkin, and if they're part of the Black Legion or not, because they're wearing their colors, and there probably are. Tons of fluff that you can read if you get this book. I'm not gonna read it soon because I have a ton of work to do. And we have a gallery of the miniatures, which these obliterators, they just look gorgeous. I really like them. Also the color choice for the skin, and I think it looks pretty cool. The Venom Crawler actually also looks pretty cool. All of these models I'm really fond of. I think I really want to start painting them and at least finish this set. If I'm not gonna buy anything else, I think I won't, because I've been working on Rubric Marines and Thousand Suns and Siege, and I wanted to go back to some Drukari too, but I haven't had a lot of time to do that because I've been playing Kill Team as well, a lot of Kill Team. And yeah, we have data sheets for this, and it has explained what everything means if you're new to the game, but most of us are probably very familiar with that. It talks about the Demonkin rules. So it has the Legion parentheses, which means you can add them to any other Chaos Space Marine legions, but only the ones that come on the book, on the main Heretic Astartes book, and you can't add them to your Thousand Suns or Death Guard. I think Games Workshop clarified that. They have the Mark of Chaos, that you can add any mark to any model, and that could grant them special abilities. We have Death to the False Emperor, which means that whenever you fight in close combat with an Imperium unit, each time you roll a 6 to hit, you get an extra attack, and that one doesn't create more attacks, but this is good for a close combat army. We have Demonic Ritual, which is the rules for summoning demons. So the Master of Possession is pretty much a normal Chaos Space Marine. Doesn't have any Lord-like abilities. It has a weapon skill and ballistic skill of 3+, strength and toughness is 4, and it has 4 wounds though, which is pretty good. and it has a leadership of 9, 3+ save. It comes equipped with a bolt pistol, 4-staff, frag grenade, crack grenade, and Death to the False Emperor. He's a Demonkin, which grants him a 5+ invulnerable save. It has right of possession, psychers. It has right of possession, which means any other psyker that tries to do a psychic test around him, 12 inches from him, suffers perils on any doubles, not just double 1s or double 6s. It can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers and deny 1 psychic power for psychic phase, and it knows the smite psychic power and 2 psychic powers from the malefic discipline, which the malefic discipline is probably in this book. And I'm really liking that they are not specific Black Legion. They painted like Black Legion. I'm noticing now that this one is a Night Lord, and this one's here, the Chaos Space Marines, are Iron Warriors. They look pretty cool. And these are normal Chaos Space Marines with the same old weaponry, 3+ save, 3+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, strength 4, toughness 4, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 7, 3+ save. It has all the standard weaponry that you will have with Chaos Space Marines, and but they look cool. They look cooler, so there's that. We have the Greater Possessed, and these ones are painted as Ward Bearers. They look pretty cool. The Greater Possessed are a unit of 1. You can add another 1. It can be up to 2. And we have movement of 7, which is pretty good. We have 2+ save as Terminator, ballistic skill of 3+, strength 5, toughness 5, wounds 5, attacks 5, leadership 8, and 3+ save. So they're pretty strong. They are characters, so they won't be targeted as easily unless you have snipers, which the other side has. So it's a little bit dangerous for them. But then again, they have a 2+ save and 5 wounds, which is a lot. So if they decide to focus on them, then the other things survive, and you're possessed, and Chaos Space Marines would get to close combat, which is very bad for them. They look pretty cool. The rules look solid. They have demonic mutations, that is strength user, AP -2, and damage D3. They have champions of the host that you have to set them at the same time if they're a unit of 2. But they don't have to be in coherency, and they don't have to get together anytime soon. They can be each one on their own side of the table, but they count as 1 entry towards your detachment if you want. They have demonic, which gives them a 5+ invulnerable save. They have Locus of Power, which adds 1 to the strength characteristic of Mark of Chaos Legion demon units, whilst they are within 6 inches of the friendly models with this ability. So they buff their strength of other demons around them. So that's pretty good. It's +1 strength. That's pretty good for making the difference between hitting on 4s and hitting on 3s. That's very good. So the Mark of Chaos and Legion apply to all the legions except for Thousand Suns and Death Guard, I believe. The Obliterators have their own rules too. They have movement of 4, they're a little bit slow, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 5, toughness 5, wounds 4, 3 attacks, leadership 8, 2+ save. I think they're pretty much the same as they used to, but this time they have flesh metal guns. The 24 inches, assault 6, they have strength 6 plus D3, AP D3, and damage D3. They're a little bit random, but they start at strength 7. Their AP may vary up to -3, and their damage can vary up to D3. They have 6 shots each, so it looks pretty good. The Crushing Fist also is pretty good. It's only +1 strength though. They're not, I don't think they're pretty good melee units, but they have strength 5 that makes them strength 6. But you probably won't be fighting a lot in close combat with them unless you get attacked by other flanking units. They have Death to the False Emperor. They have Demonic +5 invulnerable save. They have Teleport Strike, which means they can teleport into the battlefield. And they have flesh metal guns, which is self-explanatory if you read the rules for the gun. You have 6 shots, you have 6 plus D3 strength, you have negative D3 AP and D3 damage. The Venom Crawler has a movement of 10. I have a movement of 10, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 6, toughness 7, 10 wounds, and attacks 4. Leadership 8, save of 3 plus. They're pretty similar to a Hellbrute or something like that in terms of stats. Their weapons are an Excruciator Cannon, which is 36 assault D3 plus 2 strength, negative 2 AP, damage D3. It says strength plus 2. I don't know what this means because they usually, because it's a ranged weapon, it should have strength 6, strength 7, or something like that, but it says plus 2, so is it dependent on their own strength? It's probably strength 6 plus 2, that's strength 8, assault D3, minus 2 AP, damage 3. I don't know why it says it like that, but I will assume that's the way it is. Eviscerating Claws is a strength plus 2, which is probably 6 most of the time, AP minus 3, and damage 3. Soulflayer Tendrils, they are user strength minus 2 AP, 2 damage. Each time the bear fights, it can make 2 additional attacks with this weapon, which means it would have 6 attacks if you're full strength. And the abilities they have: Demonic 5+ invulnerable saves, Devourer of Souls. At the beginning of each of your turns, it regains 1 wound, and in addition, whenever he kills something in the fight phase, if he kills something in the fight phase, it regains another wound, which is pretty good. It also adds 1 to the demonic ritual, so that you can summon stronger demons if you want. If it's within 6 inches of any friendly legion venom crawlers. If anything, if your summoner is close to the venom crawler, you get +1 to the result of demonic summoning. If this model, it has soul shredding explosion. If this model is reduced to 0 wounds, roll a d6 before removing the model from the battlefield. On a 5+ instead of a 6+, it explodes, and each unit within 6 inches suffers d3 mortal wounds. So it's a lot more probable that it's going to blow up. It has the Lost and the Damned, which is the main rules for the Chaos Space Marines, which talks about the rules for each of the legions, and I think these are the legions that you're allowed to use these models on. It has the Malefic Discipline powers. It has a power for summoning demons if you want, and it's a better way to summon demons in the psychic phase instead of in the movement phase without moving. You have an extra die to do it, and the Psyker will not suffer any mortal wounds as a result of doubles or triples being rolled for the demonic ritual, which is pretty good. It has a sacrifice power with only a value of 4. If manifested, choose any models within 2 of the Psyker. That model suffers a mortal wound. Then choose a friendly legion demon model within 18 inches of the Psyker. That model regains D3 lost wound, which is pretty good. This is pretty good because causing mortal wounds, killing someone, and restoring wounds from one of the demon allies. This is pretty awesome. I like this power a lot. Mutated Invigoration has a value of 7, which is a little bit harder to do. A friendly Chaos Spawn, Legion Possessed, Legion Cult of Destruction unit within 18 inches of the Psyker unit at the start of the next psychic phase. That unit will gain a bonus depending on what unit it is, as follows. You can reroll the dice when rolling Chaos Spawn Mutated Beyond Reason's ability. You can reroll the dice when rolling for the attacks characteristic of the unit position due to its Riding Tentacles ability. You can reroll one of the dice when rolling for the Strength, AP, and Damage characteristics of the Cult of Destruction unit's weapons due to its Flesh Metal Guns or Flesh Metal Weapons ability. So this one you can cast on Chaos Spawn, Possessed, or Obliterators, and they can give extra powers depending on which unit you are casting them on. It's a little buff that makes them better, each of these units. And we have Possession. So Possession is pretty good. I've been reading them while I'm reviewing this. Possession is just makes improve the melee weapons AP by 2. If you kill anything, you get a Chaos Pawn. If you kill an Adeptus Astartes or Heretic Astartes, you can summon a Greater Possessed, which is pretty cool because they're very strong. And if you kill a vehicle, you make it explode, but you ignore the mortal wounds. The Psyker does. Everything else will suffer them, of course. And this is pretty cool. I really like these powers a lot. I wouldn't know what to choose just by looking at them, because I've seen them all and I think they're all pretty good. We have Cursed Earth. It has a warp chart of 7. It manifests the unit. It starts of your next psychic phase. The invulnerable save of friendly demon units is improved by 1 to a maximum of 3+. This would probably make them. This would most likely make them 4+ invulnerable save, and they have to be within 6 inches of the Psyker, which is meh. The Infernal Power has a power warp charge value of 6. If manifests then until the start of your next psychic phase, reroll hit and wound rolls of 1 for attacks made by friendly demon units whilst they are within 6 inches of the Psyker. It's okay. I think it's pretty. I think it's good, but I think the other ones are better. So that's good. We have the Warlord traits, and I didn't want this video to be that long, but we have 6 different Warlord traits. Your Warlord knows 1 additional psychic power, which is pretty good. The first one, the Power of Magic. Your Warlord can attempt to deny 1 additional psychic power. I wouldn't take that one. In addition, your Warlord gains 1 lost wound each time it successfully denies a psychic power. It could be good. I don't know. Reader of Fate. Once per battle, you can reroll a failed psychic test or deny the witch test for your Warlord. In addition, if your army is battle forged, roll a d6 each time your Warlord successfully manifests the psychic power. On a 6, you gain 1 command point. This one's pretty good because you can reroll psychic phase and you get command points. Infernal Gaze. If your Warlord successfully manifests the Smite psychic power, the closest visible enemy unit within 24 inches suffer a mortal wound instead of 18. It's a better Smite, but do you really want to cast Smite when you have all these awesome new powers? I don't think so. Warp Lord. You can reroll rolls of 1 when taking a psychic test for your Warlord. That's cool because you could ignore Perils of the Warp. And Demon Bound Power. Add 1 to your Warlord's strength characteristic. In addition, you can reroll damage rolls made for attacks with your Warlord's forged weapon. For the purposes of this Warlord trait, a force weapon is any weapon whose name includes the word force, excluding artifacts of chaos. This one's good if you want to combine it with the possession power. If you're going to reserve points and bring some extra possessed or spawns, you're giving yourself an extra strength and improve your penetration by 2. You'll probably be killing some stuff in the battlefield, but you're taking a risk of having to fight on the fight phase with your sorcerer, which should be, I don't know, it's a give and take. Do you want it in close combat? You could. Do you want him to just buff your army and stay on the back lines while you're possessed and greater possessed attack? I don't know. And here we have the points costs for all of these units, and that's it. That's the Codex Demonkin, and I think I went a little bit long with this, but I think it's worth it because I needed to read it and I want to know what they do, and I think it's better if I do it in front of you guys, right? This is not it. We have the Vanguard Space Marines Codex, which I'm not very interested in. I don't collect Space Marines, so forgive me if I get everything wrong with this. I think I will do a small kill team with this if they release rules for them, or maybe I just use the tacticals and play them as intercessors or whatever their name is. And we have a gallery of the units, and here it explains which one is which. This is the captain, the librarian, the lieutenant. We have I think these are suppressors, not aggressors, suppressors. And we have the infiltrators, which pretty much look like tactical marines, but they They are infiltrators, and the Eliminator Squad is just a squad of scouts, but Marines, which are tougher. So I think they should have better weapons. We have the data sheets explaining how the data sheet works, and we have Defenders of Mankind, the rules for the Marines in general. And I think you would be able to add these to any chapter you want, just with the Chaos Space Marines. Okay, we have the Captain in Phobos armor. He has a movement 6, 2+ weapon skill, 2+ ballistic skill, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 6, attacks 5, leadership 9, save of 3+. He has pretty standard weapons. The only thing that is different is the Mastercrafted Instigator Bolt Carbine, which is 30 inches heavy 1, and it has a strength 4, -2 AP, 2 damage, and this weapon can target a character even if it's not the closest enemy unit. This is very good for taking down the Master of Possession and the Greater Possessed, which is the point of the other army, and this is just like tailored for that. I don't like that because it messes with your strategy, but then again, well, I don't know. I haven't seen them play. I don't know how they fight together, but it's -2 AP, which is a little bit scary, and damage 2. It still needs to hit. It still needs to. It still needs to hit. It still needs to wound and stuff. And we have an invulnerable save for chaos, so we're probably good. It's okay. They have it. He has, and they shall know no fear, which is standard for all the chaos space, the Space Marine units. Iron Halo has a 4+ invulnerable save. Rites of Battle, you can reroll hits rolls of 1 made for friendly chapter units within 6 inches of this model, so you probably want other models close to him. It has Camo Cloaks, add 2 to the saving throw for this model when it receives the benefit of cover instead of 1, which is pretty good. +2 armor, it makes them a 1+ save, which once is always a failure, but anything that has penetration of the armor, you still have to surpass those 2 points to get him to maybe a -4, 4+ save or something like that. So it's a lot of cover. Conceal positions. You can, when you set up this model during deployment, it can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches from the enemy deployment zone and any enemy models. This is what I was talking about, which this army is like tailored to be like a scout army that deploys farther up the table. He has an Omni Scrambler. Enemy units that are set up on the battlefield as reformants cannot be set up within 10 inches of this model. This is cool. That keeps your enemies a little bit more at bay if you want to deploy them closer. And that's it. That's the captain, and I think he's pretty good. The librarian has a standard armory too. It doesn't have any particularly special weapons. It has a movement of 6, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 4, toughness 4, 5 wounds, attacks 4, leadership 9, save of 3+. It has the normal weaponry, has abilities, then they shall know no fear. We went through that. Concealed position, we also went through that with the captain. He can deploy it anywhere on the table with some restrictions. Camo Cloak as well, that's really good. He has a Psychic Hood that adds 1 to deny the witch test made for this model against enemy psychers within 12 inches of it. So if you want to stop the Master of Possession with this model, you should try to get close and deny his powers. But you're putting your model at risk. Although you have the concealed position rule so that you can get closer and get this model close faster to your enemies. We have the Lieutenant in Power and Phobos Armor. It has a movement of 6, weapon skill 2+, 3+ ballistic skill, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 5, attacks 4, leadership 8, 3+ save. Has a bolt pistol. He has the Mastercrafted Oculus Bolt Carbine, which is another special weapon. Rapid fire 1, and it has strength 4, AP 0, damage 2. Damage 2 is pretty good. Until units do not receive the benefit of cover to their saving throws against attacks made with this weapon. He has a close combat weapon, frag grenade, crack grenade. He has, they shall know no fear. We went through that. Tactical precision. Reroll wound rolls of 1 made for the friendly chapter units within 6 inches of this model, so he buffs other Space Marines, Knife Fighter, which unmodified hit roll of 6 made for attacks with this model close combat weapon score 2 hits instead of 1, similar to the Necron's Tesla carbines. The grab shoot, during deployment you can set up this model in low altitude instead of placing it on the battlefield. So he's going to pretty much teleport into the battle. At the end of any of your movement phase, this model can descend. Set it up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from any enemy models. And we have the Infiltrator Squad, this one painted as Dark Angels. These are pretty much just Primaris Space Marines with some special weapons and rules. They are movement 6, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 4, toughness 4, 2 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 7, and 3+ save. The Infiltrator Surgeon, it's a little bit better with the attacks, one more attack, leadership 8, and 3+ save. They have a bolt pistol, which we know. Marksman. So the Marksman Bolt Carbine has a 24-inch, so it's pretty much a bolter. But each unmodified roll of 6, it automatically wounds, so you go straight to your save for the enemy, so you don't have to roll the wound if you roll a 6, which is pretty good. You can combat squad this unit, which means you can separate it in 2 squads. If you have 10, you can separate it in squad of 5. But which means you can cover more of the table and be in 2 different places, so you don't become one single target for your enemies, and it only takes the same space on your detachment, so that's cool. They have concealed positions. You can set it up anywhere more than 9 inches away from your enemy deployment zone and enemy models. The Omni Scramblers, enemy units that are set up on the battlefield as reinforcement, cannot be set up within 12 inches of this unit. This denies the ability to deep strike and charge because you're more than 12 inches away. So that's going to be bad for your enemies. It has the Helix Adept that can heal wounds on your friendly models. At the end of your movement phase, an Infiltrator Helix Adept can attempt to heal or revive one model from this unit. If the Infiltrator Helix Adept on a unit contains a wounded model, that model regains 1 lost wound. If its unit contains no wounded models, but 1 or more of its models have been slain during the battle, roll a d6 on a 5+. One slain model is returned to the unit with 1 wound remaining. If the Infiltrator Helix Adept fails to revive a model, he cannot shoot in your next shooting phase as he recovers the gene seed of the fallen warrior. Very fluffy. And this squad can heal, so that's pretty good. 1 wound could make a big difference. 1 model could make a good difference when taking an objective or something like that. The smoke grenades, they also have smoke grenades that you can use to add 1, to subtract 1 from your enemy hit rolls with ranged weapons against these models. So whenever you're taking cover, also you cannot shoot in that shooting phase, but whenever you're taking an objective and it is important that you survive, you can use that, and you have a better probability of surviving. Next, the Suppressor Squad. These are the guys that with the heavy weapons that fly. They have a movement of 12, the same stats for a Primaris. 3 weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 4, toughness 4, 2 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 7, 3+ save. 3+ save, and they have the Accelerator Autocannon, which is their special weapon. This is heavy 2, strength 7, AP -2, and damage 2. This is pretty cool, and the only thing is it's heavy, and they're moving 12 inches, so they're very mobile, but they also have to stay still to be accurate. So it's a little bit of a contradiction there, but I think they can be pretty good if you use them well. Smoke launchers, which is pretty much the same one as the other one. Instead of shooting any weapon is in the shooting phase, a suppressor sergeant can use its smoke launchers. Until your next shooting phase, your opponent must subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made with ranged weapons that target this unit. Grab shoot means that you can deep strike pretty much away from 9 inches away from enemy models. Suppressing fire, if you destroy any enemy models in your shooting phase with this accelerator autocannons, the destroyed model's unit cannot fire Overwatch. until the end of the turn. So if you're planning to charge, you probably want to kill something with the suppressor squad so that your opponent can't overwatch. Especially if they have flamers or something like that. This is pretty good. Eliminator squad. These are the scouts with the snipers. They have the same Primaris stats. 6 movement, 3+ save, ballistic skill 3, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 2, attacks 2, leadership 7, and 3+ save. They have a bolt pistol, but they have the bolt sniper rifle, which are sniper rifles, which means they can target characters, even if they're not the closest enemy unit. And they have 3 modes of ammunition that you can use, rounds. The first one is a heavy, strength 4, -2 AP, damage 3, and any wound rolls of 6 for this weapon, it inflicts 1 mortal wound in addition to a normal damage. This is standard for snipers, I think. And then we have the Mortis round, which is pretty much the same, but only -1 AP and only damage 1. And this weapon can target units that are not visible to the firer. Add 2 to the hit rolls made for this weapon. Units do not receive the benefit of cover to their saving throws against attacks made with this weapon. This is pretty good for targeting anything. It's kind of weird, but you can do that. And the Hyperfrag round. This is against infantry. It's heavy D3. So it's D3 shots, force, strength 4, and just 1 damage, no AP. So once against infantry, once against invisible targets that you cannot see because they're behind stuff, and 1 is against this is just a very strong sniper round, and it's pretty good, I think. And these guys might be in kill team. That's pretty cool. Their abilities: they have the camo cloaks, they shall know no fear, and they have concealed positions. You can deploy them 9 inches from enemy deployment zone and enemy models as well, which goes with the theme of the army. And then the book goes through the chapter tactics for each of the chapters that you can add these models to if you want. They don't have to be Ultramarines, and here it breaks down their abilities. And the disciplines, they have their own discipline for the Psyker and the set. It is the Obscuration discipline. Sharding has a warp chart value of 6. If manifested, select a friendly Adeptus Astartes Phobos unit within 18 inches of the Psyker. Until the start of your next psychic phase, enemy models can only shoot this unit if it is the closest target that is visible to them. So you can deny some targets to your enemies. Scryer Gaze. Scryer Gaze has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select a friendly Adeptus Astartes Phobos unit within 18 inches of the Psyker. Until the start of your next psychic phase, you can re-roll failed hit rolls for attacks made with that unit's ranged weapons. And enemy models do not receive the benefit of cover to their saving throws against ranged attacks made by that unit. This is pretty cool, and you can see that it has synergy with Phobos armor. Temporal Corridor. This one allows the unit to move an extra advance if they are within 3 inches of the Psyker. So that's cool. And you can, when rolling to see how far the unit advances, roll 3d6, then discard the 2 lowest results. You cannot use Temporal Corridor on a unit more than once per psychic phase, because that'd be cheating, right? But it's pretty good anyway. Hallucination has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select an enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to the Psyker until the start of your next psychic phase. Subtract 1 from that unit's leadership characteristic. In addition, your opponent must roll 2d6. If the result is greater than the unit's leadership characteristics, subtract 1 from hit rolls made for that unit until the start of your next psychic phase. So this is pretty good. You make your enemy units more inaccurate, and you subtract 1 from their leadership. Tenebrous Curse. Tenebrous Curse has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select an enemy unit that cannot fly and is visible to and within 18 inches of the Psyker. That unit suffers a mortal wound. In addition, until the start of your next psychic phase, have that unit's move characteristics and result of any advanced charge rolls made for it. So you make your enemy models slower. That's pretty good against maybe charging possessed that are trying to charge your units. Mind Raid. Mind Raid has a warp charge value of 6. It manifests to select an enemy model within 18 inches and visible to the Psyker. That model's unit suffers a mortal wound if your army is Battleforged and the model you choose was a character. You can then roll 3d6 if the result is equal to higher than the model's leadership's characteristic. You gain 1 command point, which anything that gives you extra command points is pretty cool. And we have the Warlord traits, which is Shoot and Fade. Immediately after making a shooting attack, apart from firing overbars, your Warlord can move as if it were the movement phase. If it does, it must advance as part of this move. Princess of Deceit. If your Warlord has this trait, then at the start of your first battle round, before the first turn has begun, pick up up to 3 friendly chapter infantry units that are on the battlefield. You can immediately remove these units from the battlefield and set up again as described in la 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 la. This means that you can pretty much do the deceiver tactic for Necrons, which is set up one way, then your opponent sets another way, and then you can remove up to 3 units and set them somewhere else if you want. They have to be infantry though, which is easy. We also have Master of Vanguard. Add 1 to the movement characteristics of friendly chapter units whilst they are within 6 inches of your Warlord. In addition, add 1 to advance and charge rules made for the friendly chapter units whilst they are within 6 inches of your Warlord. That's pretty cool. We have Stealth Adept. Subtract 1 from hit rolls that target your Warlord. That's pretty cool, although it's short and sweet. Instead of target priority, instead of shooting with your Warlord in the shooting phase, you can select 1 friendly chapter unit within 3 inches of it and 1 enemy unit that is visible to your Warlord until the end of the phase. Add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by that friendly unit until unit that targets that enemy unit. So you select a unit, a friendly unit and an enemy unit, and you can add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by the unit to the unit you declared. So that's pretty cool. Plus 1 to hit is could be very nice. And we have Marksman Honors, which is the damage characteristic of ranged weapons your Warlord is armed with is increased by 1. In addition, you can reroll failed and hit and wound rolls for shooting attacks made by your Warlord. This Warlord trait does not apply to grenade weapons, but does apply to chapter relics, which is pretty cool. And that's it. These are the point costs, if you can read them, I hope. And that's it. That's it for this book, and we're pretty much done going through all of the rules, which is a handful of rules. They're not too many, and I think they're easy to understand and to play. I'm also excited for Vanguard Space Marine. Believe it or not, I'm not a loyalist player, but I think they're pretty cool rules. And I'm going to go through the sprues real quick so you can see the models a little bit closer, and we'll finish this video. So we're here on a closer shot. We have these 2 sprues that are similar or completely the same. And I don't know if they go together the same way, but they're 2 completely identical sprues. So we're going to get one away and just look at one of it. And we have these tactical marines, which are pretty much similar to the intercessor, except they are wearing the cloaks and they have their sniper rifles, which look pretty cool, very tasty. I'm, believe it or not, looking forward to painting some of those, at least for Kill Team. We have seen their rules, and I think they are pretty cool. There are 3 modes of firing the sniper rifle. I think they're pretty cool. We have here a suppressor, I think. I get the names confused, so sorry if I mess it up. But I will, because I don't play Loyalist Marines, and I've never had much interest on the new Primaris. But now that I have them, why not? They look cool. They're not the regular Space Marines that I'm used to, but yeah. Here we have more bodies. The Phobos armor thing that makes them faster. Makes them fly, I think. And here are some helmets. And the big weapon for the suppressors. And backpacks. And pretty standard. The Primaris kind of armor and stuff, it looks pretty similar. It only has small changes like the camo cloaks, the little antennas, And the Phobos armor, it's a little bit different with their flying things, flying wings on the backpacks. And we have 2 identical sprues of this. Next, I'm going to look at the sprue of the Space Marines, another Space Marine sprue, which is probably, here we have more suppressor bits, I think. And this one's one. We have here one dude talking on the with the radio or something, and we have their bodies, backpacks, bolters, the Phobos wing thing. More. This is probably the tactical squad, right? I think this is the tactical squad. And they are pre-posed, I think. And we have a suppressor here too. So we have, I think, 2 on the other sprues and the last one here. And we have one with a camo cloak. So I'm not sure how this goes together. They seem to be all over the place, but they're on their own sprues. So if you have a buddy that wants to buy these, so you can give him these 3 sprues, which are mostly Space Marines, and their character sprues, which are the Librarian here, which we're gonna look close first. We have the Power Sword or Force Sword, and we have his body, the back of his body, the backpack, which also is cloaked, and this is part of the base. And where's his face? Here it is. Let's flip it over. And there's the face, which is pretty cool. And that's it. So you give him this Librarian, and you give him the Captain in Phobos. Is it Phobos armor? No, I don't think so. This is just the Captain. The Captain in Phobos armor must be in the other sprue, I think. Because this is just the Captain. And this one has the cloak, which I would recommend not to glue until you painted the rest of the miniature, depending on how it gets in the way of your painting the model. But this is the body, one of the legs. It has his bolter aimed high. This is a relic bolter, I think, by the rules that we read. We have the backpack, one hand pointing. This is like an intercom or something. I don't know what it is. The cloak. This is the chest piece. We have his face. We have his face with a mustache and his backpack, and that's it. This is a servo skull with some sort of display. I didn't know what it was from the back. And that's it. For the chaos side, I'm going to start with the Warlord. I'm going to start with the Master of Possession. He has a very nice cloak with feathers and fur, and he has a staff with a Star of Chaos with a bestial kind of skull with horns, which looks very tribal, very nice. The backpack has some skulls on fire, as you should if you're a Chaos Lord Ward of something. And where's his face? Oh, here it is. There's his face. He looks a little bit like a chaplain, and that's cool. And he also looks like a chaos possessed chaplain. And I like that a lot. He only has one pose, I think. It's going to be easy to build because it's all made to fit a certain way. There's not much room for conversion, although you could try. It looks pretty cool. I like it a lot. And yeah, it should be easy to put together and paint. Well, painting might be a little bit difficult because it has a lot of detail, but you know what I mean. It's easy to put together, I think, and start playing with it. And the last sprue, I'm sorry, this is not the last sprue. We have one more sprue, but I hit it somehow. We have two large sprues for Chaos Space Marines, and this one is going to be mostly Chaos Space Marines with their backpacks and stuff. And now this one looks very impressive. These backpacks are getting each time more intricate and difficult to paint at the same time. Maybe this one is for one of the possessed because it looks very cool. And yeah, I don't want to have a lot of time to spend painting these models, so I want something more simple like this one on the bottom. This one seems easy enough. If you paint it all black and just do a little bit of edge highlighting and painting the gold, that should be cool. The shoulder pads look pretty cool as well. Very simple actually. They have a lot of spikes and stuff, but they don't have like demon faces that you have to paint in different colors and stuff like that. I guess some of them should have, but I want to save a little bit of time and paint them fast. And it's going to be hard. You can paint them black and not edge highlight at all, just paint the details and paint the details like well with their wash and highlights and not paint the black edges, and you'll have a pretty good looking army that you'll save a little bit of time making those edge highlights because they take a lot of time. But here we have a Reaper autocannon for one of the, well, it's not a Havoc, but it's the heavy weapons guy that I wish I can bring to a kill team because it looks pretty cool. We have a good dude holding a power axe up to the sky. We have a power fist here. I don't know what this is, but it looks like a power fist. And oh no, it's a claw for one of the greater possessed ones. We have the greater possessed body up here, one of them, or half of it, because if I turn it around, it's missing the chest piece here. But the chest piece should be around here somewhere. We have an angry face here. We have the other greater possessed here. And some more stuff. Pretty much just a mostly infantry in here. The other sprue is going to be the Venom Crawler and the Obliterators, I think. So this is the main body of the Venom Crawler. It's not that big. I don't think it's going to be bigger than a Hellbrute. It's going to be pretty much similar in size, but you can see here you have the Greater Possessed, which is big, but it's not that much bigger than a Space Marine. And then there's the body of the Venom Crawler. You add the legs, add a little bit of height. It's not going to be that big, but it's cool because it's not that big, and it's not going to. I hope it's not going to take a lot of time painting, and it's going to look cool. And you can have multiples, which that would be pretty cool. And we have the Obliterators, which share the aesthetic of the Hellbrute. If you can see, you have like a maw with a lot of teeth, where the face shows in here. That's a little bit of a problem because if you put it together, then it's going to be difficult to paint the face without painting on the outside. But it may be possible because I've done it before with the Hellbrute. And it's not that bad. But if you want, you can keep those parts separate instead of putting it together. We have one of the fists that looks very much like a Hellbrute fist. One with a Stormbolter here. We have more weapons here. You can see like a multi-melta or something, or flamer. I think it's a flamer, sorry. And the other side of the Venom Crawler, this looks like scenery. I don't know what this is. Maybe part of the base for something. Another with this one is a twin melta. Oh, I'm gonna call it that, multi-melta. It's a multi-melta. And here you can see the legs of the Venom Crawler, more bits for the Obliterators here, one with like an assault cannon of some kind that I haven't seen before. I don't know what this is. More parts for the legs of the Venom Crawler, and another fist, some legs, and that's it. This is like the face of the Venom Crawler with some cables and stuff. That's it. That's pretty cool. And we're done with this video, I think. I'm really impressed. I really like the rules for both sides. And I can't wait to start at least working these for Kill Team if they release rules. Because I know I'm very busy. And there will be more releases for Kill Team that I really want to get to. I've been working on making terrain and stuff for Kill Team. That's why I haven't been making videos. Also work in school and stuff like that. I haven't been able to get to making more painting tutorials. I have one in the works that's been there for a while, and I'm planning to finishing it as soon as possible. And as soon as I finish that, I want to make a Black Legion tutorial and maybe one tutorial for the Shadowspear Marines. and if I have those two, I can start working for this for my own army, and we'll see where it gets. I'm going to try to be diligent and spare some time every day to work on these miniatures, because I really want them to get put together. And that's it. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and that you find it entertaining and helpful. And if you're planning on get this set, that you are familiar with the contents and if it's worth it for you to get it. For me, it's very nice. It's very cool because it has these Chaos Space Marines that I've been collecting for a long time, even though I've been deviating a little bit with Siege and Dark Eldar. To me, Black Legions are the roots of where I started my, let's call it, Warhammer career, when I was starting painting and started collecting and doing my first Warhammer models. So Black Legion is very close to my heart. That's it. If you have any questions, suggestions for new videos, you can leave those in the comment section below, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thank you very much for watching. You stayed. Great. Thank you very much for supporting my channel, and if you would like to become a patron, there is a link to my Patreon page in the description below. Your contributions help pay for my work and keeps the channel going. A single $1 a month is more than enough, and you can cancel at any time. If you can't, don't worry, you can support my channel by simply watching my videos and sharing them with your friends. Thank you for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.